What left mysterious footprints across nearly 100 miles of freshly fallen snow in Devon, England, on a cold February night in 1855? Was it a bizarre weather phenomenon? An elaborate hoax? Or, as some locals feared, something more sinister? The morning of February 8, 1855 started like any other winter day in the quiet county of Devon. The previous night had brought a light snowfall, dusting the landscape in a pristine white blanket. But as residents began to stir from their homes, they discovered something deeply unsettling. Strange footprints, unlike anything they'd ever seen before, traversed the landscape in a near-perfect line. These weren't the familiar tracks of local wildlife or livestock. They were something else entirely. The prints measured roughly 4 inches long and 3 inches wide, described by witnesses as resembling a donkey's hoof or, more disturbingly, a cloven foot. But unlike any known animal tracks, these footprints formed a single line, as if whatever made them walked on 2 legs rather than 4. Even more bizarrely, the tracks seemed to defy the laws of physics, continuing over walls, across rooftops, and through narrow pipes that no known creature could possibly fit through. The path of prints stretched from the River Exe all the way to Topsham, crossing multiple towns including Topsham, Dawlish, and Teignmouth. When all was said and done, the mysterious trail covered between 40 and 100 miles, an impossible distance for any single creature to traverse in one night. The spacing between each print remained consistently around 8 inches apart, regardless of the terrain they crossed. News of the strange discovery spread quickly through Devon's communities. The Victorian era was a time of rapid scientific advancement, but it was also a period where supernatural beliefs still held considerable sway over the public imagination. It didn't take long for rumors to circulate that these were the footprints of Satan himself, who had emerged from the depths to walk among the living. This interpretation wasn't as far-fetched to Victorian sensibilities as it might seem to us today. The mid-1800s saw a fascinating collision between scientific rationalism and religious belief. The publication of Charles Darwin's Origin of Species was just 4 years away, but many still interpreted unusual natural phenomena through a biblical lens. The idea that the devil might literally walk the earth was not outside the realm of possibility for many people at the time. However, not everyone was convinced of a supernatural explanation. Several prominent local figures attempted to investigate the phenomenon scientifically. Reverend H.T. Ellicombe, the vicar of Clis St. George, conducted a thorough investigation and made detailed sketches of the prints. Sir Richard Owen, a renowned naturalist, suggested the tracks might have been made by a badger or other local wildlife. But these natural explanations faced several significant problems. First, how could any single animal cover such a vast distance in one night? The tracks appeared simultaneously across dozens of miles, suggesting whatever made them would have needed to move at impossible speeds. Second, how could any known creature leave tracks that went up walls, across rooftops, and through tiny drain pipes? And third, why would any animal walk in such a perfectly straight line for miles on end? Some proposed that multiple animals might have created different sections of the tracks, which were later connected in people's minds as a single phenomenon. Others suggested that birds hopping through the snow might have created unusual patterns that were misinterpreted. But none of these explanations fully satisfied all the reported characteristics of the prints. Another theory that gained traction was that of a coordinated hoax. But this too faced serious challenges. The sheer scale of the tracks would have required dozens of people working in perfect coordination across a vast area, all without being seen or leaving any traces of their own footprints in the snow. Moreover, what tool could they have used to create such consistent impressions? And why would anyone go to such extraordinary lengths for a prank, especially in an era before mass media could spread the story beyond local boundaries? Some researchers have proposed more exotic explanations. One theory suggests that an extremely rare weather phenomenon might have created the prints. In 1987, something similar occurred in Germany when mysterious holes appeared in freshly fallen snow. Scientists discovered that these holes were created by a combination of chemical reactions and precise weather conditions, leading to what's known as frost hollows. Could something similar have happened in Devon? The weather conditions that February night might offer some clues. Historical records indicate it was quite cold, with light snowfall. Some researchers have suggested that a particular combination of atmospheric conditions, perhaps involving static electricity or unusual air currents, might have created patterns in the snow that were interpreted as footprints. This theory gained some support from reports of similar incidents in other parts of the world. In 1855, the same year as the Devil's Footprints incident, mysterious tracks were reported in Poland. In 1945, similar prints were discovered in Belgium. These cases suggest that whatever caused the phenomenon might be related to specific weather conditions, rather than any earthly or unearthly creature. So what really happened on that cold February night in Devon? The most likely explanation probably involves a combination of factors. A rare weather phenomenon might have created unusual patterns in the snow, which were then supplemented by actual animal tracks. As news spread, people might have connected these various markings into a single phenomenon, with some details being exaggerated or misinterpreted in the retelling. The involvement of multiple animals seems particularly likely. Devon was home to various wildlife, including badgers, foxes, and numerous bird species. Under certain snow conditions, animal tracks can appear larger and more unusual than normal. The linear nature of the tracks might be explained by animals following natural boundaries like hedgerows or property lines, while the reports of prints going over rooftops might represent places where birds landed. Yet even this combined explanation feels somehow inadequate when faced with the sheer scale and consistency of the reported phenomenon. The Devil's Footprints incident remains one of those historical mysteries that refuses to be neatly solved, continuing to intrigue and puzzle researchers more than 150 years later. Perhaps that's part of what makes the story so compelling. In an age where we can explain most natural phenomena and track most earthly creatures, there's something fascinating about a mystery that continues to elude complete explanation. The Devil's Footprints remind us that even in our modern world, there are still some things that defy easy categorization or explanation. As we close, it's worth noting that while we may never know exactly what caused the Devil's Footprints, the incident serves as a fascinating snapshot of a particular moment in history. A time when scientific rationalism was beginning to reshape humanity's understanding of the world, but when the mysterious and supernatural still held significant sway over the public imagination. In many ways, the various theories proposed to explain the prints, from the supernatural to the scientific, tell us as much about the society that witnessed them as they do about the phenomenon itself. The fields and villages of Devon have seen many winters since that strange February night in 1855, but they've never again witnessed anything quite like the Devil's Footprints. Whatever their true cause, these mysterious tracks have left an indelible mark, not just in the snow of Victorian Devon, but in the annals of unexplained phenomena, reminding us that sometimes the most intriguing mysteries are those that remain unsolved.